Alphas, what are we gonna do? Your girl just went to go see XG. So if you didn't see my community post, first of all, let me explain that. I was chosen to see XG perform on The Voice, the TV show, with Khalid. If you don't know who Khalid is, get your shit together. Excellent human being and performer, vocalist especially. Um, so if you ever come to LA and you want to see some TV recordings or award shows, they or movie premieres, they do all of those. This company is basically responsible for providing audiences. It's called One Iota. I'll just put it on the screen. I just got home. I took my pants off. Don't you frame by frame that. You'll see my leg hairs and not my puss in boots. I do have underwear on. Um, but the other one is seatfillers.com, I believe. They do audiences. So if you're ever in LA and you want to do that, that's how this came about. So anyway, this was filmed at Universal Studios, NBC, where the Voice soundstage is. And I've actually been to a Voice recording before once. Last year, it was the knockout rounds of, I don't know, like season 24 or some shit. I don't know. I don't watch the show anymore, honestly. So anyway, you do all this check-in stuff. You get a little wristband. And they take you to this stage. You get to go through the movie lot where they film a lot of stuff, like we go through the Jaws set and all these Western sets. And but fast forward, we're taken into the stage where the Voice is recorded, and Khalid is performing first. I'm shooketh. My entire sphincter is shooketh, specifically, because when we get in there, they're still building the stage, brothers and sisters and non-binary friends. They are building the stage. They're like 2/3 of the way through, and I'm like, isn't this something you like do the day before or like hours before the performance? I don't know. Maybe they were filming other things earlier, but I was so surprised to walk in and see like 30, 40, mostly men with their nail guns and paint. There was a dude with paint, the paint tray, making the stage for Khalid. So that shocked me a lot. I was not expecting that. Um, so fast forwarding more, he performs first. Gorgeous. I don't know the song. I haven't listened to his new album, but I have liked him for many years. I've just never been like a super fan. But he seemed so sweet and so gracious, and like he sounds exactly as he does on the records. Whoever does his mixing and mastering must have a breeze, because there's not very much you have to do when a voice is that good, and oh, just stunning. So we do one run through of the song. I'm filming this or recording this on December 14th. The episode will air on December 16th. If you want to see him and XG perform, so you'll see some of what I'm talking about. And also shout out to Khalid for having a string quartet on stage with him. I love that. Anytime we can center classical musicians, I love that deeply. I also extra love that all four of them were black. And some of you may be watching and be like, who cares? Why does it matter? It matters to me and it matters to a lot of other people to have that visibility and that representation, because in the black community, it's often not encouraged necessarily to learn classical instruments. Like, it's just, that's a whole nother topic. But I played the clarinet growing up, so I have an appreciation for it, and I loved seeing it. And the cello is my favorite instrument in the world. He performs perfection. I hear no problems, whatever. They do a second run through, as expected, expected for TV at least. It's perfect again, because he's great. And in between and afterwards, I think he was just so surprised at the amount of positive energy the audience was giving, because most of the audience was alphas, right? And I think he knew that. I don't know. I'm just conjecturing here. But because the thing about him is a lot of people know who he is, but he doesn't have the kind of career that's popped off. Like, he hasn't had his moment yet, right? People respect for him for his artistry and his voice and the emotion that he portrays with his voice. But there's actually a great video essay, I think it's by Cameron Suzanne, I'm not sure, about why his career has potentially not popped off. So I think for him, part of the reason I have a theory is that because he's a nice person and because he doesn't want to step on people and play dirty games. I think that's why his career hasn't popped off, because it's not a talent thing. And you could tell because, again, he was just so gracious at the amount of cheering and support alphas were giving him. So shout out to y'all for once again proving that you are an excellent fandom. I've obviously been a recipient of that, and now he has too. And I just loved watching it because I'm not even gonna go on forever, but he was just so cute. He was just so happy. And I felt happy for him. Then my sphincter is once again shooketh to its sphinctral core. I might have made that up. Because they dismantle the stage that they just built for him in like 5 minutes. They take it all down. And I'm like, this is crazy. Hollywood is crazy. There's just so much extra money going on here. They have to pay like 40, 50 people to take down this stage and put a new stage up for XG. That's why I'm like, wow, there's so much money. NBC has so much money to do this kind of shit. So they start building XG stage. They do it in about 20, 25 minutes. Again, 50, 60 people maybe working on this. XG backup dancers come out first. From what I understand, these backup dancers work for The Voice. So shout out to them because they probably only learned this choreo less than a week ago, I'm guessing. So shout out to these ladies. Then XG comes the fuck out. And of course, the crowd is like popping off. We were so loud. You hear that? I was just gonna say we were so loud and rowdy because we were all screaming like mofos that the cameraman who was behind me, he asked our row, he was like, did you guys know they were coming before? He was like, I don't really know much about them, but like, you guys were like such a loud audience. And I was like, yes, come through. So yeah, they came out. If I didn't say already, because I've just been blabbing, they performed Gala, which I was so grateful for. I already knew they were going to perform Gala because they announced it on Instagram. But I was grateful because that's one of the 3 out of 4 songs that I have on rotation. So I don't listen to Winter Without You very often at all because it's just like, it's very seasonally specific. And I know this is the season for it, but I don't know. It's a beautiful song. But the other 3 songs that I've reacted to, I listen to them every single day. Like I can almost perform Woke Up all the way through now. There's still a few lyrics I miss, but I listen to their music every day at this point. But only those 3 songs. And I'm very transparent with y'all. I'm not allowing myself to listen to anything else. However, before they went on, they did play 2 other songs that I haven't heard yet. One of them I believe is Left and Right. So full transparency, I have now heard that. And the other one I don't even know what it's called. So we'll just see when I happen upon it. Anyway, so they come out. Madness, right? I don't know how much technically I probably shouldn't say what they were wearing because like that might be covered in the NDA, I don't know, but they were dressed in all gold. And I think having just seen Winter Without You, the video and the live performance, I liked seeing a third iteration of holiday energy, right? Because this is a holiday edition episode. And one thing I love about this group is like, it's just fashion wise, you're always gonna get something exciting. And that's what it was today. I don't know if I've mentioned it on the channel, but my master's degree is it's in the business of fashion, not like fashion design. Fashion management technically. It's a luxury management degree, which sounds so pretentious, and I was trying to avoid saying that, but so my point is fashion and music are equal and first passions for me. So one thing I love about XG is just that you're getting something fresh every time. Every time I see them, there's something fresh and unexpected when it comes to visuals and fashion and just overall presentation. And today was no different. They all looked amazing. And I will say, every time I see idols in person, boy groups, girl groups. I don't know. Can we call XG girl/they group now? Like it feels almost like mocking, but it's kind of like it's incorrect now to say a girl group. Anyway, anytime I see idols, I'm always shook by how small they are as people. Because they perform with such power. Their choreo, their stage presence is so powerful. And then you see them in person. Like, I'm not trying to expose myself. I'm not an NDA girl. Don't you guys be starting. I know she looks cute. She might be. But I've met idols in person. I've spent time around some very few idols, but I've also at KCON, right? I've seen them up close, and I'm always surprised by how small they are. And today was no different. They were so tiny. I was just like, oh, look at my beans, my talented little beans. So cute. And I don't know, the performance just popped off. Like, they do one run through, It's perfection. Same choreo as the dance practice and music video. I recognize enough of it to be like, I know this. And then we cut for the, in between, all their makeup people come out, management comes out, choreographers come out, because I'm gonna start referring to them as Coco, not Chanel. I saw them practicing the breakdancing part again, because I guess it was something maybe that just like didn't show up on camera the way they had wanted it to when they were watching the monitors. So they went over that, like I said, hair and makeup, and this was their only chance really to interact with us. So all the hearts, all the heart types, whatever the hard one is, all the hearts were coming out. And I think even for them, I don't think they were expecting that the audience was going to be made up of mostly alphas, because I from the singer songwriters I know personally, and I've seen also in interviews, one of the scariest things for an artist is performing for an audience that you, one, either don't know who's going to be in the audience, or two, you're performing stuff for someone who is not your audience. So I don't know, just judging by their reactions, it seemed like they were kind of surprised that we were like so rowdy and so hyped up, which was adorable to witness. Yeah, I could just see that they were feeling the love, and it was just mutual, yeah, I don't really know how else to explain it. I'm getting goosebumps again. It's just giving me kind of warm fuzzies to think about. Um, so like I said, they did two run throughs of the song, which I was so glad, because I'm like, ooh, I get to see it twice. Um, and I think there's only one thing that I could see from my angle that was slightly different between the first and the second run through. In the first run through, there was a moment where two members make contact. It wasn't a full collision. It wasn't like, oh, we fucked up, we have to fully start over collision. But there was a moment of contact, because I was watching from the side, so I could see it. I don't know if the camera caught it. But that was the only difference I saw between the two performances. In other words, they were perfect both times. That's what I'm trying to say. Um, but yeah, it was just great. I don't really have much else to say about that. It's just great, and they looked great, and they're adorable, and I just felt myself beaming. I felt happy seeing them happy, And I think that's a sign for me. When I start to feel that way about idols, I know that I'm fully enveloped in the fandom. Because as I always say, I respect individual idols as people, even ones that I'm not fans of. But when I start feeling warm fuzzies about seeing them smile and be happy and enjoy their craft, that's when I know I'm getting sucked in hard. So the last thing, because I my voice is I screamed a lot, so my voice is froggy, and this is a horrible time for that, because I'm actually performing an original song for the first time tomorrow. I've never sung an original song for an audience in my life, and I'm doing it tomorrow, the day after I'm screaming. So I need to shut up soon, is my point. So before we went into the stage, a man approached me, and he was like, "This." I'm so tickled by this in a good way. He was like, "Oh, you're the YouTube reactor," and I was like, "What?" I think I have about 700, a little over 700 subscribers as I'm recording this. That was kind of surprising to me. I was like, "Yeah, that I am. That's me." um, so we didn't have very much time to talk before going into the stage, but hey, for some reason my video cut off. We didn't have much time to chat before the stage, but afterwards I found him online, in line. We were talking, and I don't know, it was just so cool to like meet someone in person who watches the channel. He was like, "Yeah, I found you a couple weeks ago," and I don't want to say your name. I don't know, like anonymity. Obviously, I don't know your last name, so it's probably fine. But just in case, but if you know you're watching, I'm hoping that you're watching. So that was such a like that was the ultimate cherry on top, honestly. Because I'm not gonna lie, there are some days where I'm not sure if I should continue. Not because I don't love doing it. Like I enjoy it a lot. I enjoy you guys a lot, especially. You've made it a lot easier to continue. But mainly because I take my future career super seriously. And I don't ever want to be labeled as like, "Oh, former YouTuber, now singer." Because for me, the singing is the main thing, right? I don't want to be considered a YouTuber in that sense. It's not a bad thing to be a YouTuber by any means, but I don't want to be pigeonholed, because there's a lot of reactors that I subscribe to, and they're also musicians, and you see the difference in the views between their reactions and when they drop a music video. you know, and I don't want to be pigeonholed in that way. Yeah, it was such a nice treat. And I met the group of people he was with, and the most surreal thing he said was, "Oh yeah, this is the YouTuber I was talking about." Like, wow, I'm a YouTuber? That was crazy. I don't know. I just never expected to hear that sentence. And you know, he's like a pretty big fan, so he was telling me a lot about just his experience and why he loves XG so much. And I loved hearing it. So you know, I'm not encouraging you all to come seek me out, but I am saying if you see me and you're like, "Oh, I know who you are," it means a lot, and I felt good about it. So thank you for not, you know, holding back and just talking to me about something that we're both enjoying, which is XG, you know. So yeah, that's really the summary of what went on today, and I'm tired as a dick nugget in a sack. I don't know what that means, and that's pretty graphic and weird to say, but um what a day. So lovely. I'm so glad I got to do this, and again, I'm so spoiled to be so new to the fandom and to have this opportunity. So do I have to thank NBC? That feels grimy. No, not thank NBC. Thanks XG, thanks Khalid. Thank you subscribers for watching this long ass video. Yeah. Ciao.